Hey, what's up, y'all? What's up, YouTube, internet? However you are, whoever you are, wherever you are, whenever you are, thank you for watching this video. It's raining right now outside. Look at, whoa. Can you see that? Oh. So, today's video, I was a little foggy a bit about what video I wanted to speak on today, but I guess today I feel like I'm drawn to talk about masculine side of things, the divine masculine, and the balance and the imbalance of it a bit more. As you can see, it's raining outside, it's thundering, it's lightning. I'm wearing yellow. I'm wearing my classic, raincoat. And yellow is in a lot of ways considered like masculine. It's considered like a cowardly color. But I personally love yellow because I have a little brother who passed away at a young age, and one of the only words that he said was yellow. That was his favorite color. And for me, yellow has always been a color for me that I'm drawn to because it connects me with him. And it's like the solar plexus too, which also has a lot to do with like ego and like toxic masculinity and stuff too, because a lot of men don't know how to get out of that space or balance that space, I should say. So let's talk about the masculine side of things, the mentor, or the tormentor when it is toxic or out of balance. You know what I mean? So the mentor provides direction. He provides guidance. The guidance, it's how we dance with one another. It's how, it's our dance. We all, the masculine, we all have the masculine within us. It's, it's our upper three chakras, but it's also like, we have, all of our chakras have masculine and feminine in all of our chakras, you know what I mean? But it's like the representation, right? The masculine is like this, the sun, the light, the physical. So, and it all dies, right? The masculine energy dies, right? That's why he's exalted, and that's why he's, revered, because he does die, you know what I'm saying? And so for him, things are a little more serious than for the feminine energy, because the feminine energy doesn't, like your thoughts and your soul does not die. That's the feminine aspect of like your existence, right? And so like your eternal self knows that like you don't die, you know what I'm saying? Your eternal self is like okay with like, just allowing the now to be. But the masculine side of you is the side that's kind of like the ticking time clock, you know what I'm saying? It's like the one that's like, yo, all right, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's the side of it, because the masculine does die. So there's an aspect of the masculine that needs to do its job before it's gone. You know what I mean? It needs to learn what it needs to learn. It needs to provide what it needs to provide. It needs to do what it's there to do. And it needs to figure it out too. And in our world, it's kind of hard to figure it out, especially because the masculine energy has been fractured in a lot of ways. And and a part of the masculine energy is, it fractures itself, like we multiply, you know what I'm saying? We like, but there's, in a way, it's like, it's been in a negative way, because, well, to imbalance, it's like there's an imbalance, it's out of sync and in sync, it's all supposed to happen. But if most of the people that I know in this generation, they're in prior generations, like the father figure isn't always there. The father figure in most people's lives that I know isn't there. Like, or it's there, but or there's like it's not like the typical situation, right? Like most people I know, like there's divorces and the single mothers out there, and there's a lot of like I grew up with my stepdad. Like my father and my mother split up when I was younger, but I'm so thankful for my stepdad. I call him my dad. I don't even like to call him my stepdad. I'm just saying that because I'd like so y'all get the picture, but I call him my dad and I call my biological father my father, but that's just me. But my dad, he stepped in and he like, you know, he was an amazing man, and provided that guidance, you know what I mean? But there is an aspect of this guidance from the father to the son, or from the, you know, the higher masculine to the younger masculine, to that is like unique, because they both are experiencing a similar thing in the masculine. And the legacy, his legacy, that's why his legacy is so important, because the masculine does die. And that's why he's so enamored with his time. He's so like, yo, his time is precious. Like he's gotta do this. He's gotta, you know, get this done. You know, that's why things are more serious for him, you know. That's why it's harder for him to relax sometimes. But and on the toxic side, there's a side of it where that fear of death and everything overtakes what he understands as life, you know. It overtakes the divine feminine side of things, because on the logical side, you know, there's not room for the, you know, the illogical to like make sense, you know what I mean? Like love, you know what I'm saying? Logically, you know, if I'm gonna be here and I know I'm gonna die, okay, I'm gonna plant as many seeds as I can. I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna conquer history. I'm gonna, you know, like I'm gonna make all of this mine. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be anybody else's. It's all gonna be mine. And that's not the way this is supposed to work, because you have to go through her. You know what I'm saying? You have to go through her for your legacy to even proceed. But toxic masculinity, like, no, you know, I control her. It's not, I don't need to love her if I can control her. You know what I'm saying? And love and control are not the same. And that's a whole thing, y'all. Love and control, we get them two mixed up. Look up, like straight up. Like love and control, like love is like, yo, you're here, I'm here, we're here, and that's all we need. Control is like, yo, I need you to do this for me, and if you don't, then we're gonna have problems. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's control. It's like, yo, if I text you and you don't text me back within a certain amount of time, like, yo, we're gonna have issues. You know what I'm saying? That's not love. That's not room for grace. That's control. That's the ego wanting to be in control of the situation, because the ego doesn't want to wait. The ego doesn't want to, you know what I'm saying? The ego wants things now. Ego wants, like, it wants to like be in control. Like the ego is the only thing between us and between that, like, that fear or that void, or that, like, that feeling of like being lost amidst all of this. You know what I mean? It's our way to make sense of things, and it's kind of like how we anchor ourselves into like reality at first. You know what I mean? So the toxic masculinity, in a lot of ways, stems from these things. It stems from the lack of love, or the lack of understanding of love. You know what I mean? Or the lack of that higher male guidance, that divine male guidance that shows them that teaches them how to protect, that shows them to sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? Like you are supposed to, the masculine energy is supposed to die. It is supposed to put its life on the line. You know what I mean? To protect those, because like she's carrying his seed, she's carrying his legacy. You know what I'm saying? Like she's like the Heavenly Father, right? Like the Son, right? The energy comes down here, and she's carrying all of this. So why would he just leave? Why would he just not shine his light here anymore, when he knows that like these are all his children? You know what I'm saying? Like this is all like a part of like his encoding and her like memory stores, and being able to create what it is that's here, you know? Like you don't leave that. If anything, he just wants to see it. He wants to see it grow. He wants to be here. He wants to be a part of it all, because he's not physically here in that way on the masculine side. As far as like when on the divine side, you know what I mean? Like after like the masculine like dies, right? Like it's all about that legacy. You know what I'm saying? So on the toxic side, it can be a thing where it's more control on both sides, on both the feminine and the masculine, because the masculine, like in order for him to really become a divine man, he has to go through a divine feminine. That's the only way. And she has to deem him worthy. Like even me telling y'all all of this stuff, like I can only kind of point you on the direction, and then once you get to that gate, because she's the gatekeeper of like, you know, like eternal life in a way, and until you can like, you know, kind of face her for yourself, or kind of go through your own trials that she sets up for you, that's how you get to your divine masculine, you know, space. Like, and I'm talking to the more of the males out there, you know, in a way, because that's kind of our trial that she puts us through. You know, I feel like you know, y'all might have the feminine, you know, females, y'all might have the divine feminine as like a guide, like your godmother, like your fairy, like godmother in a way, that's like kind of teaching you like your own divinity, and kind of helping you to protect that, and helping you to understand like, you know, your own truth, you know. And I love this rain. It's so needed. It's so good. But you know, like, she can be everything. Like, she takes all the forms, like, just like water, you know what I'm saying? There's just different degrees or different states of her being. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you raise the degrees of water, it turns into air. If you lower it, it turns into to ice. You know, it's solid, it's water, it's everything. She can be it all, you know what I'm saying? And the divine feminine, the women, y'all have to understand that about yourself, that you are everything, you know what I'm saying? So don't be afraid of yourself. Don't be afraid of, like, who you are, because you are everything, you know what I'm saying? And like, know that, like, I know a lot of women, y'all are powerful, and y'all know y'all are queens, you know what I'm saying? But I just want y'all to understand, like, what your queendom is, because, like, here in our waking life, in the light, this is the masculine realm. It's a man's world, you know? But, like, the feminine side is the other half of the same coin. Like, there is a death side of it. There is a night side of life, you know what I mean? Like, and it's not bad. It's like the dream world. It's not based upon like what you can measure. The dream world is not something that you can measure. It's not, you're not going in there and like trying to like, you know, put a flag in and mark and like, okay, I'm gonna come right back to the same spot when I come back. Oh, I got control over the dream world. It's like, no, it's like your emotions control a lot. Your feelings control a lot in the dream world. It's a reflection of kind of like what you're doing, like real time, like internally, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't control your emotions in the dream world, you're gonna have nightmares and night terrors, because like it's like reflecting from the inside of you, you know what I'm saying? And there's spirits out there and stuff in the other dimensions and stuff, just like how we have spirits out here. So there's a part of you having to like bring that peace to yourself, because it's like, you know, you're attracting certain things. You're attracting things at all times, you know what I'm saying? But that's the feminine energy it attracts, you know what I'm saying? It's the magnetism. And the masculine is the one that goes out, you know, and like seeks, you know what I'm saying? So as the masculine energy, yeah, we are supposed to go out and seek. We are supposed to shine our light on things. Like, when you see the flashlight, yeah, in certain, when the atmosphere is like kind of like, you know, humid or dense, you can see the light particles like in the atmosphere, right? But like, usually when you, like the sun, you don't see all of every single light ray. You just see where the light touches, you know what I'm saying? Like, you see the actual like light hitting the surface, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of the divine masculine energy is like, we want to imprint ourselves onto something. We want to imprint our information onto her, but you have to go through her, you know what I'm saying? The toxic masculinity wants to control her. It wants everything to it wants to mitigate all of it wants to make it logical, you know what I'm saying? It wants to take out all of the mystery. It wants to be like, no, I know what this is. I have science. I know what this is. This is this, you know what I'm saying? This isn't that. Like, but her, a lot of the, where we get it messed up is like, we don't even recognize her, because a lot of men don't even know how to see her or recognize her, you know what I'm saying? Or look for her. And all they can think about is what's actually here right now. So men, toxic or not, imbalanced or not, whatever, like, I'm trying to help us to kind of understand a little bit more of what it is to be masculine, and what it is to take this legacy and pass it on, and to understand that you have to take that on the chin a bit, you know what I'm saying? As far as like understanding what your role is here, and having to put all of each of those reps that you're in the gym, every single one of those reps, you know what I'm saying? Every one of those days that you're at work, every one of those things are all supposed to go into her and the child. I mentioned that in another video, but I just wanted to reiterate, because a lot of masculine world, we go out here, a lot of men, oh, like, yo, I'm big, I'm like I can get any girl I want, like da 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 da, like. But it's like them trying to control the situation. Like, yes, it does attract women because women can see the divine masculine there. Because like, yeah, when you're working out, there's a part of your spiritual identity that has to go through that like fire in order for you to come out through that like that. You know what I'm saying? There's an aspect of you spiritually that's saying, hey, I have a strong like will, I have a strong spirit because I am able to, put myself in that fire and come out on top. But there is a toxic side of masculinity where it wants to control, or it thinks it should dominate, because that's what the world has been teaching us for so long. And if you look at a lot of family dynamics, the father figure is usually, kind of thrown off or something at some point. Like I'm sure most of the people that are probably listening to this message have father figures or know somebody with a father figure that is not the typical situation. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay. It's totally fine. It's just the imbalance that we're in right now. And I feel like that's why a lot of feminine energy is coming heavier, even through males, to further support and reinforce that feminine energy, because like they need that. You know what I'm saying? Because like it's tough for them right now, because it's like they're suffering in silence. Men, we suffer in silence too. We definitely suffer in silence. You know what I'm saying? But we cause a lot of suffering too. Women cause suffering too, but there's a masculine side of that as well, as that's taken away. That's not the nurturing side. You know what I'm saying? Like the feminine energy in the wilderness is to bring that out of you. I'll make a short about this. Like in 300, there's like a clip where like the boy goes out into the wilderness in order for him to become the man. And then he's like at night, and then like out of the shadows emerges this like wolf, and the wolf like looks at him, and he's not afraid. He's like just, he sits back and he jumps back, and the spear, takes the wolf and stuff. But that's like the divine and how it's supposed to be. That's the divine feminine. That's how she's supposed to come out of nature and draw that out of you to make you understand, okay, that's who she is, that's who you are. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, like the dark has to make room for the light. At the end of the day, she has to like say, like give you the pass if you did the work. You know what I'm saying? Like if you are him, like, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you will come out on top. You know what I'm saying? And if you aren't, you will be, discarded, like for her, it's like you're the elite or obsolete, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, on the divine side, you know what I'm saying? Cause like the higher you go, the smaller the degree of like error can be, you know what I'm saying? You have to kind of be able to carry more and also like embody more, you know what I'm saying? So like for the natural way of it being is that like her and her form shows up in that way, so that way you are prepared to further provide for her in the other form, you know what I'm saying, that is the mother and that is the child, you know what I'm saying? But she has to come in at the male in that way in order for him to be the catalyst for him to no longer be a boy, which is, a part of the thing. But the men, the divine men, the one that are already married, the one that are having children, they have gone through this, like the divine men, you know what I'm saying? The men that are out there working, the men that are out there, sacrificing, the men that are doing it in a positive way, that are mentoring and not tormenting, you know what I'm saying? The feminine energy, the men that are doing that, like you have to, those men are there to, that's the way it should be. Like they go through the wilderness, they come out on top, just like in 300. He teaches the son how to do it, but he can't fight for him. You know what I'm saying? The son has to do it himself, because he's not, the father's not going to always be there. You know what I'm saying? He has to go. The masculine has to die at some point. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, the Lion King too, just like Simba, right? Simba, he goes like, after his father dies, he goes off into the wilderness, right? And he kind of puts aside his legacy. And the only thing that caused him to really step back into his divine masculine is Nala coming back in the wilderness and being like, yo, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's bad. You know what I'm saying? It's bad over there. Makes me want to cry. I'm not going but it's really awesome. But like the feminine energy, like that's the masculine, like has to go through there in order to be the divine. If you don't want to be the divine masculine, yeah, he's going to just try to control. He's going to be thinking more on the third dimensional terms and being like, oh, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. But like a lot of those men, they're going to have a lot of daughters because they're going to need those lessons to learn. Oh, this is how to be gentle. This is how to, you know what I'm saying? And those daughters are going to, like there'll be other men that those daughters will give seeds to, as opposed to them having more seeds. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with having daughters at all. It's a beautiful thing. Look at this bird. It's flying so close to me. Look at it go. That's so cool. Thank you, ancestors. Thank y'all for adding to the message. I don't know if y'all, I hope I got a good camera because I'm on selfie, so I can't see what y'all are seeing when I do that. But damn, that was so cool. It flew like straight to me. But yeah, so like, we need both of these energies for sure. We need both of them to be in balance, but the men being the one that is able to be the bigger, strong, the more like, the one that's able to be the physically bigger one. Like you're not supposed to dominate over the little ones, bro. Like, come on. Like, that's the stupidest, like, that's the simplest thing you could do. Like, come on, like, pick on someone your own size, like type shit. So like, we need the males to really take a step back and like, listen. Like, I'm not, and women, y'all need to listen too, but there's a masculine side of like that energy that doesn't want to listen. You know what I'm saying? Like, that thinks that it knows already when it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? And, it happens on both sides. It's just like, it's not just a masculine thing. Feminine energy can also be like that, where they think that they know everything and that the male has nothing to contribute. You know what I'm saying? But the male really does. There's a lot of information that the male does that they have to go through certain trials that really teaches them, yo, this is what life is all about. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have to do that. You know what I'm saying? They have to put forth, go out and come back on top. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, okay. So I don't want this video to last too long. I'm already at like 22 minutes. Yeah. So yeah, men, and I don't want to poop on religion too much. But yeah, everybody kind of feels a certain way about it. But I do feel like a lot of religion out there really does, it's really patriarchal. It really does have a lot of more like masculine centric principles. And I understand that there is a very masculine aspect of the universe. You know what I'm saying? There's a very high degree masculine aspect, just like there's a feminine. And I do feel like when they're both in union, it does kind of come off as like one, you know what I'm saying? But the way I see it, it's a circle. There's no beginning, there's no end. It's perfect. The circle is the most perfect shape there is. There's no beginning, there's no end. You can split it, you can divide it in an infinite amount of times. You know what I'm saying? Like, the circle is the promise. It is the ring. It is the, you know what I'm saying? It's them too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think that's mostly it, y'all. A lot of religions with the masculine side, they kind of omit the feminine energy, or they'll try to say, oh, this is what the women should do. But I honestly think in the world, what we need is like, from each country, I know like people would be mad or whatever, but like from each country, I feel like we need both a male and a female leader from each country instead of just the male leaders. Like, at the very least, if we're not going to change the whole world and like topple everything over, I think at the very least, that's what we should do. We should have one male at least and one female that are at the top, you know what I'm saying? And they are able to check and balance each other, you know what I'm saying? But that's just me, you know what I'm saying? That's just me. I think that would be one of the quickest ways that we can maybe balance out some of this energy out here, especially in the like the government kind of side of things. But men, please be gentle to the women out there, man, because they're sitting in the background just waiting for you to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes y'all never figure it out, and that pain she holds on to, you know what I'm saying? That the memory, the pain that she bears, as far as like bearing the child and everything, like she's bearing that for like us, you know what I'm saying? She's bearing that for the masculine energy to persist. And we can either bring pain, or that pain that she gives that towards that could be the same investment into life that the male energy dying is. You know what I'm saying? There is a sacrifice that they both have to make that both exalts them to the divine, So I love y'all. Hope this meets y'all well. I'll see if I can put another video out. I'll think if I can, something else comes, but this one's for the masculine energy out there, man. I hope we all kind of bounce it out, and hope everyone in their relationships can just be a little more sweeter and understand how these energies work and interplay with one another, because it is a dance, y'all. You know what I'm saying? It is a dance. We're not supposed to be afraid. We're not supposed to be fearful. But like the fear, that scariness is like the feminine energy. Like she's supposed to bring that out of you, you know what I'm saying? But like in its right way. But the toxic masculine energy, like we are tormenting people. It's not even about like overcoming fear. We're like, the toxic masculine energy is like torment. It's like killing people. It's like ruining, it's destroying, you know what I'm saying? It's tormenting others because of the pain that they're feeling because of the lack of the love or the ego, you know what I'm saying? Not understanding how to have that ego death that she's supposed to provide him. You know what I mean? We need each other, man. We need each other to both be at our highest degree. You know what I'm saying? I love y'all, man. For real. We got this, man. And women, you know, divine, feminine, masculine. Love y'all.